welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and this is my open book. In today's video we got another weekly wrap-up for you, plus we've got a special book club announcement that I think you guys are going to be really excited for. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. This wrap-up is going to be mostly like spooky season inspired because these are the books I read like in the last couple of days of October going into the first week of November. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know because I talked about this in my Instagram story. So if you're not following me, make sure you are. But I am not ready for spooky season to be over, which is not like me because Christmas is actually my favorite holiday. So usually I'm like pretty excited for the Christmas season, but this year I see people posting stuff about Christmas already and I'm just like, no, it's not Christmas. It's still October in my brain and in my soul. So I'm still reading like Halloween inspired things, like spooky season, darker paranormal vibes. Like I'm still in that mood. So I don't know what my TBR is going to look like for the month of November. I feel like I'm still going to be reading my fall TBR, honestly. I'm just not ready to move into winter yet. Just throwing that out there. But one book that I know I will be reading in the month of November is going to be our first book club book. Yes, so big announcement. I'm going to be starting a book club with my friend Katie here on YouTube. Her name is Katie Reads. If you're not following her, you definitely should. I'll link her channel down below. So we decided to do a book club together and we're going to call it the Thrilling Romance Book Club. We like to read romance and we also like to read mysteries and thrillers sprinkled in. So we thought it would be a good way to mix it up and kind of do like alternating months. So this month, for the month of November, we're starting with a romance book. And we were trying to figure out what book we wanted to start with. And I told her, I said, you know, I'm kind of in a mafia mood. Like, I miss mafia. I haven't read a good mafia romance in a really long time. And when I filmed my dark romance video, I feel like that like reminded me of all of my mafia favorites and I kind of miss it. One mafia book that we've been seeing everybody rave about is Dom by S.J. Tilley. So I have been wanting to read this for a really long time and I'm excited that we get to do it for our first book club. So if you want to know the details of the book club, this is going to be a live show and it's going to be on Katie's channel this month. So again, her channel will be linked down below. Make sure you're subscribed. That way you get all the notifications. Plus, she's just so much fun to watch. If you guys don't already follow her, I feel like she's been on YouTube for a while, so you may already follow her, but she's great. She is like one of the most relatable booktubers in my opinion, and I feel like she has really great taste in books, and her videos just always put me in a good mood. And like, isn't that why we're all here? Isn't that why we're all here? So yeah. It's going to be on her channel and it's going to be November 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to mark your calendars and to go ahead and pick up Dom by S.J. Tilley. It is on Kindle Unlimited if you have that. That way it's free. And that way you have the whole month to read it so that we can all meet up on November 30th to talk about it together. I'm super excited. It's my first time doing something like this. So yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. If you want to know more about what this book is about, basically I don't know that much. I kind of wanted to go in blind, to be honest, but I've been seeing a lot of people post like little snippets here and there of the book on Instagram, and he's a plus size heroine and then he's obviously like part of the mafia somehow. This is actually the third book in a series, but I did hear people say you could still read it as a standalone. So I'm going into it blind. Again, not like me. I'm usually someone that has to read a series from the beginning, but I've just been seeing so many people rave about this book that I just want to jump right in. And I've actually never read anything by S.J. Tilley before, but I've heard really good things. And I know Katie said she's read a novella by S.J. Tilley that she really liked. So I have high hopes. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I don't know anything about the plot. I just know it's mafia. And I think he calls her mama. Like, have you seen clips from that show? I think it's like Good Moms or Bad Moms. Oh my god, what is that show called? And there's like the bad guy character that the mom is like involved with and he calls her mama and it's always like super cute. I don't know. I love that vibe. So honestly, that's what drew me into this book originally, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm excited to read that for the month of November so I can hopefully reignite my mafia spark. That's what I'm hoping this book will do for me. So pick it up. Join the live show if you're interested. And yeah, again, November 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Katie's channel. Okay, now we can get into what I read in the last week of October going into the first week of November. So I only read one physical book, which is Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper, or Lana Harper. I'm not sure how you say it. This This book was really good. Honestly, there's like a little blurb on the front from Emily Henry, and it says, a sexy, funny, charming romp of a novel that scratches that witchy autumnal itch just right. And honestly, like, I'm really not surprised that Emily Henry described it perfectly. It really is all of those things. I feel like it's perfect for fall, it's perfect for spooky season. It's about a town of witches, and the female main character, she is someone who left the town years ago. This is the kind of town where when you leave, you kind of lose your magic. So she's been living just a regular schmegular life in a big city. There is this big historical event going on in the town. I believe it's called the Gauntlet, I want to say. But it's basically like a battle between the families of the witch town to see like who can be like the reigning family for the next generation. She is the oldest in her family line, so she comes back to the town to kind of like be the moderator for this event. And not only is she having to deal with, you know, having magic in her life again after being without it for so long, she has to deal with being around her family again after so many years, and there's an ex in the town that like really screwed her over that she has to face again. And she's just really going through it. She's not really sure, like, should I stay? Should I go back to the city? You know, that kind of thing. And she meets Talia, which is actually someone that she went to high school with. And it was one of those girls, she was like the cool girl in high school that like every girl wanted to be. Everyone like wanted to sleep with her. Like she was just like that girl. Emmy never thought that Talia would even give her the time of day, but they have a little bit of a spark, and this is a sapphic romance. And yeah, it was just really well done. I think it was just like I said, it was perfect for like spooky season. I feel like if it weren't for the autumnal vibes and like the witchy vibes, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much, because I feel like it wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. I thought that because she was coming back to like moderate this battle, I was expecting like really intense battles. But it was more like on the light side. And this kind of, I think, is also a good one for people who want to know if they like fantasy, because I feel like it does have a little bit of world building because of the like town that they live in and the magic and kind of like how that all works and the history of the town and things like that, and just like how things are run. I feel like it's kind of like reminiscent of a fantasy book without being like super hardcore fantasy. So this might be a good one to like transition you into fantasy if you want to see if you can handle the world building, because I feel like this was a good like transitional read. Because I personally read more romance, I don't read a lot of fantasy, so I feel like this was like the perfect amount. I feel like if there was more fantasy in here, it probably would have been too much and I wouldn't have liked it. So there's that. I think I rated this 4 stars because I just really enjoyed it. It was a good time and I was really feeling it in the moment. But like I said, I feel like this is something that I might want to reread like every fall, or I know this is the first in a series, so I'll probably like not pick up the rest of the series. Maybe until next year around this time I'll pick up like the second book. I feel like that would be a good way to read this series, like just every year. It's like a new movie coming out in a Halloween series kind of thing. So that's kind of how I'm going to treat it as. It wasn't like absolute favorite god tier, but I feel like for what it was really strong. Okay, now the rest of this video is basically going to be a Halloween novella extravaganza, because on Halloween I had no plans. I didn't have any events to like dress up for. So the way I celebrated Halloween is I just had like a binge of Halloween novellas. So I have 6 of them to go over with you today. So the first one we'll talk about really quick because I ended up DNFing it. It just wasn't enough for me personally. It was fine. It was supposed to be a romance where like she finds out that there's like this ghost haunting her apartment that she's been staying in, and they end up like having their own little romance fling thing, because I guess on Halloween night he can like be human again and not a ghost, so she can actually see him and they can like interact. I don't know, it was fine. It was, I don't know, I ended up DNFing it. I feel like if you like ghost romances, like you'll probably think it's really cute, little quick read, but wasn't enough for me personally. The next one was a lot stronger. This was Moonflower by Elira Firethorn. This one was right up my alley. It's friends to lovers, and it's MFM, so that means 2 males and 1 female. So the males don't really have a romance, so it's not like a poly romance. It's more so like they both share her, if that makes sense. So basically these three best friends have grown up together. They were really close for a long time. You know, like in her internal monologue, you kind of hear her, she reveals that she's had feelings for both of them for as long as she can remember, but she never wanted to cross that line because she felt like it wasn't fair to pick just one of them because she didn't want the other one to feel left out. You know, she really liked them both equally and she wanted to keep that, you know, equal relationship with both of them. So she just made sure they stayed friends. But as they were approaching the end of high school, she realized how hard it would be to not have either of them. So she kind of like runs away from the problem and she goes off to college in another town. It's not too far away. Like I think she still goes and visits them like around Halloween, because I guess like that's like a really special time of year that they have together as a friend group. So she tries to run away and goes off to college, and she has new friends there, but it's not really the same. She's not happy. She's trying to be in another relationship with a different guy, and even though he's not the best, she's just trying to, you know, live a normal life without her two best friends. And they know something's up. They know something's up. So one of them kind of like cooks up a little plan, and they end up going to surprise her, and it just kind of goes from there. I really like this one. The friends to lovers vibes were perfect. You guys know I love when characters have history together. Their connection was great. I love the characterization, and it also has great spooky vibes because it does take place on Halloween. And part of the surprises involve some like dark and spooky elements that I think, you know, really step the story up a notch. And yeah, I highly recommend. You can tell by the cover, there's like a graveyard scene that's pretty spicy. Yeah, this is really good. This is really good. I definitely want to read more by this author now. I don't know if she has anything else besides novellas, but yeah, this is really good. The next one I read was Bump in the Night by Cassie Mint. And this one, the female main character works for this like haunted hotel, and that's like part of the shtick of the hotel. That's how they draw people in to stay there. And she is obsessed with like all things spooky and macabre and dark and scary. Like she wants to be scared. Like she wants to run in with the ghosts at this hotel. That's part of the reason why she works there. So she's working there as a maid, and she's kind of mad. She's worked there for a while, but she hasn't had any of those like paranormal experiences that she's been like wanting. So one of the rooms, I guess like the walls were bleeding. She's like so excited. She like volunteers to go clean it because she's hoping she can like see something while she's in there. So she goes in there, and the guy that's staying in there is an author, and they have a little bit of a connection, and the story goes from there. I really love these characters. I thought their connection was really cute, and I liked how there was enough uniqueness about them as characters where I didn't feel like I was just reading about like generic characters that anyone could just pull out of their ass. You could tell the author really took their time in writing these two characters to make sure that they were like unique and had depth. So I really appreciated that. Again, especially in a novella, most people don't take the time, but this author did, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, the romance was really cute. Obviously, there wasn't really like a lot of plot. I was expecting more of like paranormal, like spooky things to happen personally, but the romance was still really cute. So I gave this 3 stars. Probably like 3.5 depending on the day. Because like I said, the romance element was really good. It was more so like the Halloween element that I feel like could have been more. Now, this ended up being my favorite Halloween novella that I read this year. Which I was not expecting, because this is definitely on the darker side. I thought this would have like no substance at all. I thought it was just going to be smut. Based on the reviews that I read. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of smut. That is like the predominant plot, I would say. However, again, I feel like this is another one where I didn't even say the name or the author. This is called No Place to Hide, and this is actually written by 2 different authors, Harper Ashley and Ren Hawthorne. So this one involves the male main character. He's a carny, basically. So he's like traveling with the, you know, the carnival. And this particular stop that they're at, he is the one who's manning kind of like it's like one of those fun houses where like things pop out and scare you. There's like a room of mirrors. There's like the tunnel that spins around while you're trying to walk through it. There's like scary clowns throughout it. Yeah, so that's what he's manning for the night. And the female main character is there with her friends. She's trying to get over this ex that's just been like the kind of ex that won't stop or like won't go away. She just can't get rid of him. And she's always been like the good conventional girl, always followed the rules, always fit in a little box that everybody put her in. But she wants to break out of that. She's ready to just like be done with that. So she ends up at the carnival, and the ex is like bothering her, and the male character, you know, we all love that scene where like a guy is bothering a girl, and the guy who's not supposed to be a good guy, he just like comes out of the woodworks and he's like, hey, you bothering her? Or is this guy bothering you? And he like puts a stop to it. So yeah, that was a good start. And they end up talking, and they're both like drawn to each other, but he obviously can tell that she's the good girl type. You don't know what you're asking, you don't know what you're getting, what you're signing up for here, but she really was trying to sign up for a night where she could just forget about being who she is normally, and he gives that to her. They do like a hide and seek situation, so he counts down, gives her time to run and hide, and they play a game. He gives rules. He's like, if you get caught. This was really interesting to me, and it gave me perfect like spooky Halloween vibes, especially because I am someone who's actually scared of clowns, honestly. So there were parts where it was like actually scary to read, like from her point of view, like running and like going through this like funhouse situation, and like him catching her. I don't know, I know it's taboo. Not everyone's gonna like that kind of thing. I don't normally read books like this on the day-to-day, but I feel like on Halloween, I was just in that mood, you know, like I wanted the scary vibes. So this gave me that, and they ended up actually having a really strong connection. It was supposed to be just a one-night thing, but we all know how that goes. Yeah. I ended up loving this one way more than I thought I would. I gave it 5 stars, which I was not expecting. This one just really took me by surprise, and I just had a really good time reading it. Okay, then I read Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. I feel like this is the one that everybody always talks about every year on Halloween. The female main character is at a party, and she ends up getting involved with these 3 masked men. She doesn't know who they are, she doesn't know their names. One of them is wearing like the Jason mask from Friday the 13th. The other one is wearing the Michael Myers mask from Halloween. And then the other one is wearing a ghost face mask. There's some terrible people like treating her badly at this party, and they kind of like protect her and stick up for her. This is very dark. These guys are unalivers. This is literally touch her and you die. Like literally. Yeah, so they're a bit unhinged, but honestly like not in a bad way. If you know me in real life, I really hope you're not watching this video. Again, I know it's taboo, and most people are, you know, a lot of people might not like it, but if you like dark romance, you get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This one actually ended up being really good. I haven't read this one for a really long time just because I thought it would be too dark or like too intense for me, but it really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's still unhinged, don't get me wrong. Like, check trigger warnings, go into this, you know, expecting the worst, and then you'll be fine. Yeah, I ended up giving this 4 stars. It was really good. I enjoyed it. And apparently this is like part of a series, so the next book is like a full-length novel, I believe. And then there's one after that's like a Christmas book. So I guess the month of November I need to read the next book so I can be ready for the Christmas one. Alright, and then the last one I read, kind of similar, but this one only has 1 guy and not 3. So this is Carving for Kara. This is also by 2 different authors, Melissa McSherry and Dana Leanne. So it's another one that, again, I normally would not pick up this book just based on the blurb and the reviews that I read. This one would not normally be my cup of tea. This is a little bit like, this is on the like really dark side. Like, it crosses the line normally, but on Halloween I feel like there's no rules. All bets are off. Like, on Halloween anything goes. That's kind of the way I look at it. So I picked up this one, and I will say I was definitely enjoying the beginning. Like, in the beginning I thought it was going to be a 5-star. I was like, oh, okay. The female main character, she's another one who's like obsessed with all things dark and spooky. She like goes all out with decorating her house every year for Halloween. It's another one where she's got this ex that she like can't get rid of. She's gonna be going to a party with her friend, but she's like not really looking forward to it because the ex and her, she like still hooks up with him even though she doesn't really like him that much, but she's just like, you know, just like can't shake him basically. So she's going out for coffee with her friend before they go to this party, and there's this really hot guy at the cafe who captures her attention. They have like a moment where they like have the eye contact, and they're, you know, like the flirty glances and the smirking and the biting of the lip, you know. Then she goes to talk to her friend about the night that they're gonna have, whatever. And then it cuts to his point of view, and he takes obsessive male main character to a whole new level. He obviously has that same connection with her, with the eye contact and everything like that. So now he's like, she's mine. No one else can have her. She's mine. I will have her. And it's definitely a little bit stalkerish. There are definitely some lines that he says that kind of like blur the line of like what's ethical and what's not. You know, like he's definitely morally gray. He's like morally black. There are parts where he's like thinking like, oh, the fact that she just said where the party's gonna be and she's like hinting about it to her friend, like knowing I can hear her, like she must be doing that on purpose. She must want me to stalk her at this party, you know? Like, I'm just saying. Yeah, so he cooks up this plan. He goes to the party, he crashes it, he's wearing a mask, and he does some wild and crazy things. I will say, kind of towards the middle, like towards the end, it did go a little bit far just for my personal taste. So it did not end up being a 5-star. I think it just went a little bit too far for me with some of the things that he does and the things that he says. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it because again, it was still a good time. It was still good for Halloween season. I don't want to spoil it. But it's just me, my personal taste, like, it was just a little bit much. So I ended up giving this 3 stars. Alright, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys liked the spooky recommendations. I know we're kind of out of that season now, but I'm just not ready to give it up. I'm just not ready. So give this video a like and leave a comment down below telling me what books you plan to read in the month of November. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my future videos, including the live show with Katie on November 30th. See you guys there. I'll leave all the details down below just in case you want more information. And I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.